Barron Trump destroys Joy Behar. Host, The View Over. After Melania Trump sues for 100 meters. You know, Barron Trump redecorates his mother's reputation the way rich kids redecorate dorm rooms. Throw cash at it and hope the RAs don't notice. Joy Behar tossed the line across the View's semicircular table like a grenade. Laughter flared from a few audience members, tentative, testing the room. Cameras zoomed. The red on-air sign glowed brighter than usual. Whoopi Goldberg cracked a grin. "Come on, Joy, the kid's barely 19. Joy waved a dismissive hand. "Old enough to cash trust fund checks, old enough for a punchline." Sonny Hostin leaned forward, eyes sharp behind rimless glasses. "Besides," she added, voice low but mic'd, "if Mommy can sue the press for holiday decor shade, Junior can take a little heat." The crowd's chuckle turned into a ripple. Producers in the control room marked the spike on a live sentiment chart. Ratings loved friction. Barron wasn't there to respond. He never was. Since leaving the White House, he'd stayed off-grid at a Florida university, majoring in computer science, surfing at dawn, speaking rarely. Yet in that Manhattan studio, his name ricocheted off walls like rubber bullets. Joy kept firing. "Seriously, Sonny, blink twice if you've seen Barron smile in public. The boy looks like he's trying to Morse code 'Save me' from behind a Gucci hoodie." Laughter, louder now. A stagehand winced. He'd seen this script before. Mock the Trumps, numbers climb, advertisers clap. Still, something felt off. A hush lingered under the chuckles, thin as ice. Whoopi flipped her cue cards. "Moving on!" But Joy wasn't done. "Moving on. I've got one more. Barron's entire senior project is probably an algorithm that auto-deletes bad press about Melania. Talk about family loyalty." This time the laugh stalled halfway. A few groans slipped out. The studio sensed a line, soft tearing. Back in Florida, Barron's phone buzzed. Friends were texting screenshots before the segment even ended. "Dude, have you seen what Joy said?" He clicked a clip. Heard the dorm room joke. Felt his face heat. He'd endured memes since age 10. Photoshops, late-night monologues, classmates snickering about accents and handholds. He could ignore most of it. But Joy aiming at his mother threw him? Different. He stood from the Commons couch, pushed through sliding doors, let humid air cool his skin. Nearby palms rustled. A decision hardened like wet sand drying. 72 hours later, ABC's legal department received a courier envelope stamped Trump and Lynch, LLP. Inside, notice of intent to file a defamation and emotional distress suit on behalf of Barron William Trump seeking $100 million in damages, allegations, malicious mockery, negligent infliction, targeted harassment of a private citizen. Melania's name appeared only once, as parent. Her signature, though, inked the bottom, blue, precise. Executives cursed. The network had weathered lawsuits before, but never from a former first son, still legally a protected dependent in half the states. Social media went thermonuclear. Protect Barron trended beside Now Free Speech Fails. Clips of Joy's jokes looped next to images of Barron at 13. Expression blank behind White House windows. Memers dubbed him the Piñata Prince. Commentators split. "He's fair game. Look at Hunter. He's a kid. Leave him alone." The Raw studio feed leaked 2 days later. In it, during commercial, Joy turned to Sonny and whispered, "He's fair game. A Trump's a Trump." The sentence detonated online discourse, sponsors called. A luxury skincare brand paused its campaign. Cereal giant postponed renewal. Ad sales slid 5% in a morning. Joy faced the camera next episode. Smile tight. "I'm a comedian. Comedy punches up." Viewers saw sweat bead along her hairline. Barron's legal team didn't blink. They filed in Southern District of New York, same venue his mother once threatened. The complaint ran 30 pages, citing psychological harm, future employability impact, and a pattern of targeting minors of political figures. Exhibit A, A spreadsheet showing every time The View mentioned Barron. 12 segments, 0 invitations for response. Behind closed doors, ABC lawyers drafted a motion to dismiss. Privately, they whispered settlement. But the hosts wouldn't apologize. Joy called the claim snowflake litigation. Whoopi backed her on Colbert. Sonny, a former prosecutor, stayed mostly silent, eyes calculating. Meanwhile, Barron broke cover. He posted a single stark tweet. I study code, not controversy, but respect isn't binary. You don't lose it when your parent is elected. See you in court. Retweets exploded. Teen TikTokers stitched the clip into montages of cyberbullying PSAs. Unexpectedly, Gen Z rallied. Comment sections flipped from laughing emojis to shield emojis. Inside ABC headquarters, panic bloomed. A junior producer leaked an internal email. Barron segments spike engagement. Keep pushing the hostage son angle. Another thread. Need new joke beats? Combine Melania lawsuits plus Barron dorm life. Joy loves the dorm stuff. The leak confirmed Barron's attorney's key allegation. Calculated cruelty for clicks. News anchors smelled blood. CNN hosted panels on ethics of satirizing political children. Fox opened primetime with, When will liberals stop hiding behind comedy? Even NPR got spicy. Through it all, Melania stayed off camera, but her presence loomed. Reporters camped outside Mar-a-Lago gates. Staff said only, Mrs. Trump stands by her son. In Joy's dressing room, ratings graphs littered the vanity. The blue line, viewers, curved down for the first time since 2018. She muttered, We've hit a nerve. Sonny Hostin knocked, closed the door. Legal says deposition prep starts Monday. Joy scoffed. Let them depose. First Amendment covers jokes. Sonny's stare was flint. Not if the jury sees intent. Emails look bad, Joy. Silence. Only the hum of backstage lights. Joy swallowed. For the first time, she heard the faint echo of her own punchlines bouncing back, sharp as shrapnel. Across the country, Barron reread court papers in a quiet dorm room. Outside, classmates played frisbee under string lights. He closed the file, opened a blank coding window. Typed, he hit run. The console displayed the sentence. A simple loop. A private mantra. Tomorrow, depositions. For now, night air and palm leaves and the strange calm before litigation storms. Monday, 9 a.m., Southern District of New York. A marble corridor echoed with heels. Joy Behar, flanked by counsel, walked past reporters who fired questions like rubber bullets. She kept her chin up, but headlines on their phones hissed in real time. Barron v. The View, depositions begin. Inside conference room 4B, the first witness sat already. A junior segment producer named Kira Hale, 27, nervous smile. Barron's lead attorney, Daniel Lynch, opened a folder thick with printed emails. Ms. Hale, did you write this? He displayed a line. Barron jokes? Click rocket fuel. Kira swallowed. It was, slack banter. Lynch's voice stayed calm. How often did you discuss Barron as rating strategy? Every pitch meeting after 2022. Her answer landed like a hammer tap. Joy's lawyer winced. Joy folded her arms. Slack banter. She'd told herself the emails were harmless. On paper, they read predatory. Outside, social media devoured leaks. Click rocket fuel trended by lunch. Barron woke early, 5 a.m., still wired to East Coast anxiety. He checked news feeds, found the hashtag, shook his head. In Discord, a classmate typed, Bro, they called you Click Fuel. Barron replied with a thumbs-up emoji, then opened a fresh IDE window, working on a side project, an app to flag under 18 names in news copy and trigger a rethink banner for editors. He called it Ethos Kid. Coding steadied his pulse. Cameras were barred, but transcripts leaked by lunchtime. Lynch, Ms. Behar, did you review these pre-show notes? Joy, producers hand us jokes. I riff. Lynch, Note 7 reads, Lean into hostage narrative, audience loves mother-son drama. Yet Barron had never spoken publicly. On what basis did you call him a hostage? Joy hesitated. Satire. Satire requires exaggeration of a known trait. You invented one. Joy's face flushed. She glanced at Sonny Hostin in the gallery, calm, tablet in hand, taking notes for her own upcoming grill session. At ABC headquarters, a war room buzzed. Whiteboards mapped potential outcomes. Settle early, risk host backlash, concede guilt, fight, risk jury sympathy for kid legal VP. Marta Reyes pitched a hybrid. Public apology, scholarship donation, no fault admitted. PR liked it. Finance balked at 8-figure exposure. Numbers? The CEO asked. Ad pullouts already cost us $4 million, Finance replied. If jury hits us for 70, we're bleeding. Everyone glanced at a mute monitor looping Joy's dorm room quip. Silence thickened. Sonny arrived in a navy suit, expression neutral. Lynch opened with a friendly tone. You're a former federal prosecutor, aware of reckless disregard standards? Yes. Lynch slid another email. Sonny can riff legal stakes, gives shade legitimacy. Did you see this before air? She scanned. No. Yet you said, if Mommy can sue, Junior can take heat. You invoked litigation days after Barron's mother settled another case. Did producers feed that line? Sonny's jaw clenched. It was spontaneous commentary. Lynch flipped pages, social team analytics showing Sonny's, quote, spiking engagement 340%. Spontaneous, profitable commentary. For a beat, Sonny's legal composure cracked. I regret that phrasing. Across Twitter, blue-check attorneys hammered regret as concession. Sonny regrets trended by dusk. Judge Miriam Patel scheduled a preliminary hearing on ABC's motion to dismiss. Courtroom packed, cameras again barred, but sketches leaked. ABC counsel argued parody. Barron is a limited-purpose public figure via his father. Lynch countered, he never gave interviews, never monetized fame. Hosts attacked a private young adult to wound his mother. He cited precedent cases involving teenagers of politicians. Judge Patel listened, impassive, then asked a single question. Does ABC dispute internal emails labeling the plaintiff a rating strategy? Counsel tried to deflect. She cut in. Answer yes or no. Counsel. No, Your Honor. Murmurs rippled. Patel set trial date 6 months out. Denied dismissal. ABC stock dipped 2% by closing bell. That night, ABC emissary reached Lynch. Low 8-figure offer, private apology, NDAs. Barron's side countered, public admission of wrongdoing, policy change on minors, $50 million. Talk stalled. Joy recorded a podcast rant, unvetted. If Barron can't take a joke, the snowflake gene is hereditary. The clip leaked, sabotaged ABC's settlement hopes. Executives exploded. Legal told Joy to log off. Polls swung. A morning consult survey showed 68% of Gen Z and 54% of independents felt the View crossed a line. Advertisers smelled risk. Another 2 brands paused spots. Teen influencers stitched Joy's rant with cyberbullying statistics. Barron DMs flooded with supportive memes, cartoons of a tall boy blocking joke arrows with a laptop shield. He replied to none, just coded. Ethos Kid prototype nearing beta. Week 4, ABC was forced to hand over 5 years of Slack archives. Lynch's team found a PowerPoint titled, Targets That Trend. Slide 3, Barron, Evergreen safe from libel. Under 21, dour gray area. Proceed but keep jokes, family dynamics. Judge Patel allowed it in evidence under state of mind. Media law blogs called it smoking keyboard. Joy's agent urged crisis PR. She issued a televised statement. My humor missed the mark. Viewers felt too little, too late. Against counsel advice, Barron accepted a CBS Sunday interview, seated in a modest student union, hoodie, calm. I'm not suing over hurt feelings, he said. I'm suing because adults with megaphones treated me as collateral clickbait. The interviewer asked, Are you your mother's proxy? He smiled. Mom taught me to pick battles. This one picked me. Clip went viral. Tone measured, eyes clear. Even some late-night hosts paused jokes. Colbert quipped, hard to roast a guy who codes anti-bullying apps. Mid-April taping, Joy tried a new monologue. Maybe I screwed up, but suing comedians is a Banana Republic move. The live audience gave lukewarm laughs. Producers cued break early. Backstage, Joy slammed scripts. I'm the villain? Over one joke? A senior producer replied, It's 12 jokes, 8 emails, and a lawsuit. Joy stared at him, realization dawning that punchlines had morphed into affidavits. CNN, MSNBC, Fox all held town hall segments on boundaries of satire. Legal scholars warned, if ABC loses big, every talk show writer's room will lawyer up. SNL added compliance lawyers to cold open drafts. Netflix updated guidelines. No minors unless public statements exist. Barron's Ethos Kid beta launched quietly on GitHub. Journalists downloaded it out of curiosity. Some newsrooms toggled it on test servers. Silicon Valley blogs applauded. Kid sues network, ships code to fix problem, baller. Facing advertiser desertion and HR morale crash, ABC sweetened settlement. $40 million to Barron-funded Child Cyber Respect Foundation. On-air apology from Joy and Sunny. Written standards barring jokes about politicians' minor children, Lynch relayed to Barron, who consulted Melania by encrypted call. She advised caution but trusted him. Barron replied, add public release of those standards, then yes. ABC caved. Papers drafted, signatures pending, a special episode. No studio audience, quiet, sober lighting. Joy read from teleprompter, but her voice cracked genuine. I crossed a line. My words hurt a young man who never asked for fame. I'm sorry, Barron, Sunny echoed remorse. Whoopi absent. Scheduling conflict. Barron watched via campus stream. He didn't smile, but texted Lynch. Accept. Settlement filed next morning. Case dismissed with prejudice. No jury, no blockbuster verdict, but precedent set in ink and corporate policy. ABC donated ad time to cyber respect PSAs narrated by Barron's classmates. Ethos Kid plugin installed at 3 major news sites. Joy took a season hiatus. Sunny resumed with legal disclaimers before punchlines. Barron went back to algorithms, surfing at dawn, peace mostly restored. But talk show writers knew a junior's joke log could now end up Exhibit A. And somewhere on a quiet Florida porch, Melania sipped tea, watching a calmer media cycle roll by. Proof that dignity, wielded by her son, can speak louder than 1,000 monologues. Joy's apology aired on a Wednesday. By Friday, the clip had been remixed 1,000 ways, but the tone stayed the same, subdued, uneasy. Ratings for the episode were high, yet advertisers treated the surge like toxic waste. 2 prime sponsors postponed renewals. A third demanded confirmation that the new no minors standard was real and permanent. ABC called an emergency retreat at a Hudson Valley inn. Executives, lawyers, ethics consultants. They spent 8 hours on a single question, how to be provocative without being predatory. The answer arrived from an unexpected voice, a junior social producer who'd quietly installed Barron's Ethos Kid plugin on the network's content system. She demoed it. A red banner flashed whenever a script mentioned anyone under 21. The room fell silent, then nodded. Policy by plugin. Compliance coded into workflow. It felt futuristic, but also safe. Joy, alone in her apartment, typed jokes no one would hear for months. She kept deleting punchlines that felt lazy. The cursor blinked like a silent metronome. She wondered if humor, stripped of targets who couldn't fight back, could still light up a crowd. The question frightened her. She shut the laptop and stared at the city. Sunny returned to law podcasts, recording an episode titled Satire and Scar Tissue. She admitted hurtful speech can hide behind a laugh track. Listeners praised the candor, yet some accused her of selling contrition for downloads. She accepted the paradox and kept talking. Meanwhile, Barron's foundation received the first transfer, $40 million. He refused a press conference. Instead, he posted a short video from the campus quad. Palms swayed behind him. He explained the grant program, seed money for student engineers building anti-bullying tech. No mention of Joy, ABC, or the lawsuit. Just a closing line. Let code do what words failed to. Applications flooded in. One high schooler pitched an AI that detects dog whistle slurs. A community college team proposed a browser plugin that soft blocks gossip headlines until a source count meets threshold. Review committees formed. Barron read every summary between classes. Melania sent him a single text, "Proud of you." He replied with a blue heart emoji, the family's private shorthand since the White House days when public affection risked mockery. Spring leaned into summer. Ethos Kid updated to version 1.1 and went open source. Tech blogs called it a quiet revolution. Late-night hosts took note. Monologues grew sharper, but also smarter, layered with fact checks on screen. The audience barely noticed the shift, yet the tone felt cleaner, less sour. One humid evening, Barron walked the beach, surfboard under arm. A stranger recognized him, raised a phone, paused, then lowered it. "Hey, man," the stranger said. "Thanks." Barron nodded, ducked into the waves, and paddled toward the horizon where the sun burned down into gold, the only spotlight he wanted for a while. By midsummer, no minors clauses rippled beyond ABC. Rival networks copied them, not out of virtue but risk management. Script drafts now carried a footer, checked by Ethos Kid. Writers grumbled at first, another hoop, but soon admitted the red flashes forced better setups, fresher angles. Cheap shots felt passé, like canned laugh tracks. The View limped through reruns while executives planned a September relaunch. Focus groups demanded substance, not snark. A consulting firm suggested rotating younger commentators and a weekly corrections segment where hosts revisit any claim that proved shaky. Producers winced. Self-fact-checking on live TV felt like swallowing tax. But the alternative was advertiser famine. They signed on. Joy spent her hiatus in stand-up clubs off the radar, testing new material. She opened sets with a disarming line. "I came to roast myself before anyone else can." Crowds applauded the vulnerability. The sharper bits landed too. Turns out people still laughed when jokes punched hypocrisy instead of family ties. One night, a college kid handed Joy a flyer for a cyber civility summit sponsored by Barron's foundation. She tucked it into her notebook, unsure if the irony stung or soothed. Sonny accepted a teaching fellowship at Columbia Journalism School, a short course titled Humor, Harm, and the First Amendment. Students debated whether a viral clip justified a courtroom. When Sonny played the leaked fair game whisper, the room fell silent. A 19-year-old in the back said, "If power dynamics matter, the mic is always a weapon." Sonny wrote the sentence on the board, circled weapon twice. Barron spent June debugging grant tracking software, then surprised the board by applying for one of his own micro-grants. His proposal, an open protocol that lets content platforms ping a dignity ledger before publication, lightweight, voluntary, transparent. The board tried to recuse him. He insisted they vote publicly. They approved by majority, citing conflict of interest guidelines he himself had drafted. Late July, Ethos Kid hit 2 million downloads. Reuters asked for comment. Barron sent a 3-emoji reply. The wire service translated, "Build, think, grow." At ABC, relaunch rehearsals began. The new set ditched pastel mugs for a neutral oak roundtable. A fact line LED strip beneath the desk would scroll live citations. On the first dry run, a junior host misquoted a poll. The strip flashed amber, auto-displaying the correct figure. Crew members broke into applause. Truth had become a prop, and the gimmick felt oddly thrilling. Meanwhile, web forums that once farmed outrage clicked into quieter rhythms. With fewer incendiary clips, algorithms surfaced long-form debates and occasional cat videos. Engagement dipped 10%, but dwell time rose. Advertisers recalibrated, fewer eyeballs but calmer ones. August heat settled over Florida. Barron logged off for a week, flew to Tahoe with classmates, camped under cold stars. Around the fire, someone asked if he'd watched The View 2.0. He shrugged. I wrote code, not scripture. They choose how to use it. He tossed a pine cone into the flames, embers spiraling upward like tiny satellites, signals looking for new orbits. The first Monday after Labor Day, The View returned live. New logo, new lighting, same time slot. ABC had mailed press kits promising accountability television. Viewers tuned in, half curious, half hungry for missteps. Joy Behar walked on stage alone. No warm-up jokes. She greeted the camera with measured cadence. Today we reboot. Same voices, bigger ears. The LED fax strip glowed calm blue beneath the desk. Panel introductions followed. Joy, Sonny Hostin, a 30-year-old political scientist named Zara Wells, and rotating seat guest. Today a Pulitzer-winning tech reporter. Applause polite, slightly wary. Segment 1 tackled student loan relief. Zara cited a Brookings figure. The strip flashed green with a tiny check mark. In rehearsals, the crew had called it the Halo Ping. Viewers saw it light up 3 more times in 15 minutes. Social media applauded the visual honesty. Mid-show, Joy addressed the lawsuit that changed our house. She explained the no minors policy and the internal review board. Then she introduced a pre-taped interview with Barron Trump. Not a confrontational sit-down, just a 5-minute conversation recorded via encrypted video the previous week. ABC had insisted on editorial control. Barron agreed only if the full raw file could stream uncut on the show's website. Legal relented. The clip rolled. Barron appeared in a campus lab, laptops humming behind him. Joy's questions were simple. Why code instead of comment? How did he define respect online? Barron answered quietly. Code scales faster than apologies. He explained the Dignity Ledger prototype and noted it was open source. He finished, I hope shows like this prove comedy's not allergic to conscience. Back in studio, the audience clapped. Genuine, not cue card prompted. Joy cleared her throat. For the record, that entire exchange cleared the ledger at 3 milliseconds ping time. The fact strip lit teal, confirming server receipt. Meta-transparency. The show fact-checked its own respect. Sonny jumped in. Critics say we self-censor now. I say we self-correct. She unveiled a weekly segment. Rewind, a 2-minute montage of minor errors from previous episodes with rapid-fire corrections. The inaugural reel was short. Misdated bill, misspelled author name. But the gesture landed well. Twitter clips spread with the tag, Fix It Friday, even though it was Monday. During commercial break, producers watched live sentiment dashboards. Positive emojis outnumbered puke faces 4-1, a record for the program. Across the country, at a coffee bar near campus, Barron streamed the show on his phone. When Joy thanked him on air, he lifted his cappuccino in a mock toast. A fellow student recognized him, hesitated, then said, Good segment. Barron smiled, grateful for the small-talk normalcy that had once felt impossible. Backstage, Joy exhaled. We survived, she muttered to Sonny. We evolved, Sonny corrected. Ratings next morning showed a moderate uptick, but advertisers focused on quality metrics. Shares accompanied by civil comments rose 30%. A cereal company reinstated its sponsorship. CFOs prefer calm seas. In editorial meetings that week, writers pitched segments with a new filter. Is the target here an idea or a bystander? Jokes aimed higher or sideways, rarely downward. Punchlines grew more intricate. Satire without shrapnel. It took longer to craft, but felt strangely invigorating. Late September, Barron's Foundation announced its first cohort of grantees, 10 projects ranging from a browser extension that flags deepfake news to a Discord bot that nudges users before they post personal insults. Tech media dubbed it the civility stack. Venture capital sniffed opportunity. Barron declined funding, insisting on non-profit status. Scale conscience first, profit later, maybe never, he told Wired. One evening, Joy attended an underground comedy show, Unbilled. She riffed about aging knees, supply chain pasta shortages, even poked fun at her own lawsuit meltdown. The crowd laughed warmly. Afterward, a middle-aged fan approached. "I love that you're still sharp without the cheap shots." Joy felt something like grace settle on her shoulders. Sonny's Columbia seminar wrapped with a panel featuring Zara, a TikTok satirist and a First Amendment scholar. Students live-blogged the discussion. The most retweeted line came from Sonny herself. "Freedom of speech has siblings, context, consequence, and curiosity." Ethos Kid reached version 2.0, now integrating with podcast transcribers. NPR beta-tested it on a politics show. A host cracked, "Our intern's been replaced by an honesty plug-in." October leaves browned in Central Park. The View's autumn set added a small bookshelf displaying works by guests. One slot held a slim volume titled Echoes, Melania Trump's reflective column collection. No jokes referenced her. The presence was silent, intentional, understood. Barron visited New York for a tech summit. He declined press but agreed to coffee with Joy and Sonny, off-camera, private. They met at a quiet midtown cafe. Conversation was awkward at first, then easier. Joy apologized again, face-to-face. Barron accepted. Sonny asked about the next release of the Dignity Ledger. Barron invited her class to beta test. When they parted, Joy offered a handshake. Barron bumped fists instead, half-smile. "Version control," he joked. Joy laughed, genuine, light. As he walked away into city noise, she realized the past year's script twist. A teenager had forced a titan of talk to revise her act, and in doing so, helped the whole stage sound a little saner. Winter crept in softly, the kind that makes New York soundproof beneath snow. Inside ABC's studio, the roundtable routine felt almost effortless now. Fact strip flashes had become as normal as applause. Viewers noticed most when it didn't light. Silence implied accuracy. December's final live show opened with a montage. Scenes from the year of overhaul. Joy's on-air apology, the rolling corrections, Barron's interview. Joy watched from her seat, chin tilted in quiet awe. The audience applauded, not wildly, but warmly. Approval earned, not demanded. Across the Hudson, a different countdown ticked. Barron's Dignity Ledger was about to integrate with the 3 largest content management systems in America. He sat in a dorm lounge, pull-out couch for a desk, laptop fan humming. At midnight, the servers flipped. Within seconds, dashboards across dozens of newsrooms pinged green. A Slack channel lit. Ledger handshake successful. Reporters posted screenshots like baby photos. In Los Angeles, late-night writers cursed good-naturedly. Every edgy riff now came with a pop-up. Target age 20, double-check intent. The best jokes survived, the sloppy ones died before birth. Most writers grudgingly liked the filter. It weeded filler, showcased craft. Joy's stand-up special dropped on a streaming service the same week. She opened with, "I sued my own mouth this year and lost. Damages, humility." Critics called it her most mature hour. No minors, no low blows, still savage, but aimed at systems. Predatory credit cards, algorithmic echo chambers, Washington gridlock. One reviewer wrote, "Behar 2.0 punches up with GPS precision." Sonny Hostin's short course became a full semester, enrollment waitlisted. She invited Barron for a guest lecture via video. He demoed the civility stack, fielded questions about free speech, then logged off to finish a machine learning assignment. Students stayed after, buzzing. One said, He's proof restraint can be radical. Sunny wrote it on her office whiteboard. Beyond MSNBC blurbs and TechCrunch think pieces, change seeped quieter places. A Midwest high school paper implemented the ledger after a bullying incident. Principal reported calmer hallways. A podcast collective in Manila cloned the open-source code, tailored it to Tagalog. Barron added their improvements to the repo username BayanihanDev. Pull request merged within hours. In January, ABC released internal metrics. Advertiser churn reversed, civility in comment sections up 40%, viewer trust score highest since 2017. Shareholders cheered, but inside hallways the mood was simpler, relief. Producers no longer mined cruelty for clicks. They mined curiosity. Ratings were steadier, not spiking, then crashing, like a heartbeat that found regular rhythm after arrhythmia. Barron flew to D.C. for a Youth Tech award he hadn't sought. During his brief acceptance, he quoted an ancient proverb, "When elephants fight, it is the grass that suffers." He added, "I was the grass. Thanks for mowing less." The crowd laughed, genuine, forgiving. Afterward, he visited the mall alone. Snow flurried over monuments. He thought about algorithms, how they sort words, how words sculpt worlds. His phone vibrated. Joy had texted a photo of an empty comedy cellar stool. "Your turn someday?" Barron typed back a single line. "Let's build the mic first." Somewhere in that city, servers logged another ledger handshake, unnoticed by passers-by. Tiny green lights blinked in server racks like quiet fireflies, each a promise that before the next quip left a mouth or a keyboard, someone or something would pause long enough to ask, punching whom and why.